All right, here we go. What's up, everyone? Jeremy Majors here with Majors Academy Dog Training out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And we haven't done these in a while, but we're back. I do know, and I'm aware how much this little show was missed, and I want to make sure that we give people the opportunity to answer questions. Hey, Kim, how are you? Ask as many questions as you like. You know the drill. Okay. Let me just do one more thing here. So if one of these things, all right. Let's see. Bear with me. And we'll get started. Here we go. Okay. I hope everyone's having a good day. It is September, and the mosquitoes are out like crazy. You can't wait for Tuesday. Oh, yeah. Tuesday. Tuesday the day. Hey, Sarah, how are you? Hope you're doing well, too. Yeah. So let's talk dogs. And for those of you who are having a little beverage, a little wine, a little whatever, cheers to you guys. Let's get started. Okay. This question is for Hawkins Julie. She says, I have a 16-month-old male Aussie. He often submissively urinates when I come home and rarely does it for anyone else in the family. He'll do it standing or while on his back. Only thing that has helped so far has been ignoring him for a long time when I get home. Am I setting him off, and can I train it out of him? Yeah. Yeah, you just need to control the excitement. You know what I mean? The door for a lot of dogs brings about eustress, which is it's like the opposite. It's that happy stress. For an Australian Shepherd who is predisposed, given the breed, to control, they are obligated to address the door when you come in. And so that, along with the happy feelings of seeing you, the dog loses a little bit of control of himself. So the best way to do that is to try different ways to get the dog to become calm on command. If ignoring works, continue to ignore. You know, you can say hi, excited. Just give it a few minutes. Give it 3 or 4 minutes, and then say hi. But don't say hi while he's excited. It'll just, yeah. And the dog may grow out of it too. So there you go. Thank you for your question. Feel free to ask another. You guys ask as you like. Know that your questions will help. Okay, struggling with the same thing. So it doesn't matter if your dog's biting has bit 5 people or nobody. Your question's still important and valuable, and I will value it, and I will not judge you. All right, you're very welcome. Feel free to ask another question. Good. Miss Lola had surgery today and is doing well, so I'm happy. Surgery with what? What happened? And how old is Miss Lola now? She has to be getting up there. Okay. Another question on Instagram. How do I get my dog to stop biting? Give me a little more than that. If you don't mind, tell me a little bit more about when does he bite? Why does she bite? Is it aggressive? Is it playful? Give me a little bit more information and I can help you out. Um, while we're waiting on that, let's just talk a little bit about territorial. Well, oh, here it comes. It seems to be she's excited every time she bites. How old is this dog? Is it puppy? All right. Hi, Jeremy. After our accident with Max, we did go forward with a female golden retriever. What is the right age to start her on your training recommendations? She's 3 months old. Oh, okay, so she's just play biting. All right, so I'll go back to that. Okay, I'm gonna go back to that German Shepherd question. Well, no, I'll answer that question now. So puppy biting. That's a good question because everyone has struggles with puppy biting. But basically, in a sense, you have to bite the dog back. You have to allow the dog to feel what it's dishing out in order for the dog to think, all right, I don't want to do that anymore. It's the same way the mother would address it. That's the same way another dog would address it. It's just basic nature. You have to, in a way, somehow get the dog to respect the fact that when when the dog decides to make a choice that you don't like, then you should give the dog something to avoid making that choice. So what I'll do with puppies, because they got sharp teeth and can they can hurt you. But what I do is I'll pinch their little bottom jaw and just hold it. And every dog, no matter what, if you pinch and hold, will try and go back. And then you repeat if the dog comes back. Because if the dog comes back and bites more, then that's the attitude that you're going to have to ultimately deal with. The dog says, I want to be sassy and I want what I want. And if you give me resistance, I'm going to give back more. But you want to be in that same mindset because you are the dog parent. And so again, what I'll do is if they decide to be bitey, I'll grab their bottom jaw or kind of like this or like this, pinch like that. And you tell the dog no or no bite, whatever. Doesn't much matter. But you show the dog that you can control. You're in control, and anytime it makes that decision to bite you, it's going to feel uncomfortable. Um, it's going to get something that feels uncomfortable from you. All right. Hopefully, she's not too stubborn. Thank you for your question, though, and feel free to ask another. Okay. So, great question. Hard to answer as far as when to train your puppy. Um, you're training it now. You have to let the dog out. You have to feed the dog. Um, you have to exist with the dog. All of that's training. Now, when it comes to sit down, stay, and all that crap, I mean that's secondary. That's not a good. You're very welcome. That's not that's not the goal. You know, everyone thinks that as training. Sit down, stay. Oh, he's a good boy. But there are dogs who do that and are horrible dogs. They still bite. They come when they want, only if you have food. So, training, in my opinion, is more so a mutual, the understanding from the dog about the mutual, um, even exchange between you and the dog. What's the dog giving you? You give If you give everything to that dog and allow the dog to do what it wants, it's going to take advantage of you. You want to demand certain things from them because you have given them a good situation. So, a good dog, again, doesn't necessarily know how to sit down, stay. A good dog doesn't jump on people, doesn't bark at people, doesn't bite people, and um, can take anywhere without having to worry about any sort of reactivity or aggression. That's a good dog. Dog don't even have to come. But if you have those things, generally you have a good dog because you don't have to worry about much. I mean, aside from like running away, but you know what I mean? So training starts when you bring the dog home. You're teaching the dog how much um, you're teaching the dog how much they can take because they'll take as much as they can get. Um, and if jumping is allowed, barking is allowed, ignoring you is allowed, peeing and pooping in the house and all that, then that's bad. So I hope that makes sense. What I would concentrate on with a puppy is you can already work on getting them to understand that they need to follow you instead of following, instead of leading you. So take your dog out in the backyard, off leash. They already have a natural instinct to follow you because they're puppies. Take advantage of that. Let them start to follow you. You take them where you want them to go pee. That's training. And just take nice long walks too. Start incorporating their name and come and then give them some treats, starting to really get them familiar with, you know, being good off leash. That's one of the best commands ever. And don't tolerate jumping. And when they're a puppy, obviously you don't need to correct them, but you can ignore them. And then when they do sit, then you can give them a treat, something like that. We won't get into the details of it, but basically that's it. Training starts right away. All right. I'm excited for you guys. Congratulations on um, a female golden retriever. It's going to be awesome. Um, yeah. Thanks for your question. All right. This is her fifth surgery. This time was her right back. Man, that girl has gone through some stuff. Back CCL and meniscus. Goodness gracious. And she's 8. Wow, she's getting old. Mm-mm-mm. Well, speedy recovery for her. Huh? I hope she recovers very fast. All right, those of you who are watching and just joining in, please ask as many questions as you like with dog behavior. There's not a bad question. There's not a dumb question. Your question, I bet you, I guarantee, I've seen it before or heard it before. And also, your question is going to help out others. So feel free to ask as many questions as you like. You're not just confined to one question. Ask as many as you like. Let's have a conversation. All right. I'm here for 8 until 8:30 or until I run out of booze. Just kidding. Anyway, all right. Next question. Lucy is 2 years old and still shows aggression when on leash and sees other dogs. Off leash, she loves all other dogs. Going to the vet or walk is difficult. I make her sit and watch, but anxiety stays very high. All right, Gretchen. So, what you want to do is stop telling your dog to sit. What you want to do is tighten up on your and adjust your technique on the walk and on leash. On leash is a pretty difficult situation for a lot of dogs. Tons of dogs get along with dogs on leash. I mean off leash, and then when you put them on, it's different. The reason being is that you're taking their ability away to go away from confrontation. And sometimes if they feel uncomfortable, they can't do that because they're on leash. So you want to make sure that you are doing what it takes to establish trust by way of giving the dog a little bit more structure on the walk. So try this if you're not doing it. Make the dog heel by your side. So the collar should be parallel to your hip the whole time. Do not allow the dog to sniff, pee, and poop for 95% of the walk. Let the dog really concentrate on what it has to do as opposed to allowing the dog what it wants to do. That's how you're going to build that trust on walks. That's one half of it. The other half is you got to make sure no loose dogs come up to the dog, come up to Lucy, because um, that will take away from that trust that you're trying to build. Again, it's our job to keep them safe, and that aggression on leash kind of tells you that they don't feel necessarily that safe or confident that with you walking them. So um, more leash skills, and again, keeping them away from dogs for a while. Do not let them come up. Don't let dogs come up to you. Cross the street. Maybe the dog needs some space. I wouldn't let strange dogs come up to my dogs anyway, because you don't know them, and they could very well be a butthole to your dog. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want that. All right. I hope that helps. Feel free to ask another question. That is. Okay, let's see what else we got. Yeah. All right. Okay, so let's just talk about the session that I had today. How about that? Until we get another question. Had a labradoodle, and went to address territorial aggression. The dog, the reason why the people initially called me is because the dog went um, out of the yard and bit a person who was a special needs person. And um, so I went over there today, and I normally do not do private lessons. Do not do aggression. I don't deal with aggression in private lessons, but this lady that I am dealing with, she has some skills, and it was very obvious that this woman had put a lot of work into this dog, obedience wise. And we talked about this last time, but obedience is just not enough for some dogs. Actually, obedience could be holding your dog back from learning and experiencing what it needs to learn. It's not the worst thing in the world that your dog knows what to do. Not at all. I mean, you're ahead of the game still, but some dogs, again, can be held back from just being a dog with all the obedience that traditional or modern training, I would say, um, sort of pushes. Sometimes, again, a good dog just can be included in all things via your lifestyle. That would be considered a good dog. If they sit, if they can stay, if they can, you know, do tricks. I mean, and they bite someone, that doesn't mean, that would not be a good dog. You know what I'm saying? So, anywho, yeah, we went there, and I had a little assistance. Shout out to Kayla and Ace. Just kidding, Biggie. Um, they came and helped, and uh, what was his name? What was his name? The whose name was like Chugs or something. Anyway, he charged us, and Biggie did nothing. So shout outs to Kayla, and the work that you've done with that dog was awesome. Having a perfect dog to use kind of as bait. You know what I'm saying? It was great. All right. You're welcome. Okay. The Wilder side says, I have an 18-month-old deaf pit mix. That is a rescue. Our problem is when he meets new people. He fears new people. Families coming down for Labor Day and staying with us for 2 days. We are concerned. He knows all his hand signals. All right. So when it comes to introducing your dog to new people, the dog needs to see that you can control the situation. And that means control the dog and on some level control the people. So if you need to go back to basics and put the dog in a crate for the first 10 or 15 minutes, or until the dog kind of just doesn't seem concerned about the people that are coming into the house, then you let the dog out. But that's what needs to happen. And obviously, you try to control the people or have the people respect that you have a dog that isn't necessarily okay with people in the beginning. So tell them to ignore the dog for the first 10 or 15 minutes too, or until the dog doesn't seem concerned about the situation. But again, control is what's necessary. The dog needs to see. If a dog is nervous about new people, then they may be inclined to take control themselves, and we want to do it for them. That's how we advocate for our dogs. That's how we ensure that we tell them that anybody who comes in here is okay, is friend, treat them as such. And so again, that control is very important. Now, after the crate, if you're still concerned, put the dog on leash. But let's do this too. Let's really think about this too. The dog does not have to be involved in everything. Even if you have the dog, you know, not directly in the mix, that's okay. You don't have to have the dog out, is what I'm trying to say. Put the dog away. Give the dog some time early in the morning or before the company comes over, get it nice and tired, whatever it may be. But then you'll be doing the dog a favor if you give them a break from the obligation of the pressure that new people bring on. Because it's very similar to how we would treat a stranger. Some dogs take it as, I don't know you, I don't want you to touch me. Can you give me some space? Back, give me 50 feet. So they think the same way. So when people come over my house, I have a Great Dane with an aggressive past, and I have a rambunctious golden retriever. I don't want people coming through the door and being met by either of that type of energy. I don't care. So I put them away. And then 30 minutes later, if I feel like it, they'll come out. But it's not, they don't have to be there. I'm going to enjoy my company, stress free. And again, once the dust settles, the excitement settles, then I can probably bring out my dogs. You know what I'm saying? But it's not necessary that they meet everybody right away. You'll be doing your dog a favor if you think like that. Yes, everybody who comes in my home does not meet my dogs, and again, that's advocating for them. If you have a dog who's skeptical, or if you just have a puppy who you just don't want to jump on people, because that door is going to bring about cautiousness and super excited energy, one way or the other, or both. And both, in my opinion, are not good. Um, so it can cause peeing. It can cause obviously jumping, and then some dogs get in trouble and they decide to nip or bite. So the best way is to put them away and see how they do once again the dust settles. So there you go. Thank you for your question, and feel free to ask another. Um, yeah, you're very welcome. All right, effective potty training. Um, effective potty training, in my opinion, um, means that the dog um, knows to go outside and pee. Um, it's all about being attentive to your dog too. When they have free roam of the house, you want to be attentive. Learn your dog too. Learn um, learn what they look like. Right? They're gonna sniff and they're gonna pace right before they pee. You know that. And so keep an eye on your dog. Keep tabs on how long they've been without going outside, and get them out often. And don't be afraid if they don't go outside, you don't visibly see them go outside, then do not let them free roam your house. Put them back in that crate. You know what I mean? Dog's name is Chewy. Yes, it was. You're right. I thought he was a labradoodle. Bernedoodle. uh Anywho, yeah, potty training is all about just watching your dog, learning your dog, and then manipulating the water intake at night. But also getting the dog on a good feeding schedule to where you can kind of time it to where the dog needs to go. So I don't necessarily let my dog dictate when they go out. I just get them out often enough, and they know then that it's time to go. You know what I'm saying? Especially as the dog gets older, you don't want you don't have to have bells on your door. You don't wait for your dog to get to tell you. You just in general, know when your dog needs to go out and how often. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. Okay. How do I introduce my puppy to my older dog? On leash. You know what I mean? Um, Pick up if you're worried about them getting along. Pick up toys and bones, and do not let the puppy overwhelm your older dog. Let your older dog choose to kind of interact if you can do it. But if you see your younger dog starting to become like a butthole to your older dog, then maybe pull them away. There is, I do believe that there are, on some level, work it out, but be there in case the older dog takes it overboard, or your younger dog doesn't give a crap about your older dog's correction. So you want to be there to step in, but on some level they do need to figure things out. You know what I mean? In a safe way. So those are all good questions. Going to help out some people. Okay. All right, guys. Those of you who just joined, we got a few new or a few new people watching. Um, Feel free to ask dog behavior questions. Okay. Feel free to ask about them. You know what I mean? Because I'm here. I'm here for you. I can at least give you something to go off of. There's no dumb questions, no such thing. I'm thinking about getting another dog. Yeah. I'm thinking about getting my I want 3 dogs at all times. I just had to put down an old dog. Um, but I try to can keep 3 dogs, and I want a diverse group of 3 dogs. So right now I got a Great Dane and a Golden Retriever. Thinking about adding like a miniature pincher. What do you guys think? That'd be a good addition to the pack. I want a small dog because there's a lot of dogs who fear the hell out of some small dogs, okay? And I want to be able to have a small dog so that um, it can help out with socialization. You know what I mean? Um, Again, some dogs want to eat them. Some dogs have a problem because they're mostly out of control. I would love to have a small dog that I can show the world that, can actually be okay. So I might get a miniature pincher. We'll see. That's what I've been thinking about. But they don't have any fur, man. They'll probably get really cold in the winter. Wonder if I should get a long haired dog. But I want a calm breed. I don't want a terrier of any sort. You know. So all right, let's see what else we got. Go back here. So anyway, during that session that I had today, uh, the lady asked or commented that the dog would kind of, in a way, avoid um, certain things after she would correct the dog for, let's just say, charging or barking in the yard. The dog would want to try to avoid the situation. And I told her, don't worry about that. That's a good indicator that the dog is taking what you want seriously instead of totally ignoring you. Dog avoidance is a good step. Um, it is a good step towards acceptance. And so if your dog shies away from a situation, that's okay. Um, don't worry. They're still learning. The next step after avoidance is acceptance. All right. Is crate training effective training? Yes. And when should I use her crate? Every day. She should nap there. She should eat there. She should sleep at night there. And when you can't watch her, she should be there. After some exercise, of course. Uh-huh. Get a Frenchie. Oh gosh. My rock rolls her around the yard like a bowling ball. She has bursts of energy, but is pretty low key and happy. I know. There's a lot of temptation to get a French bulldog for sure. Yeah, Frenchies are awesome. It's a very popular breed right now too. You know, very popular. What in the world? Jesus. Okay, I want to go to my page. How do I do that? You're welcome. All right, guys, ask some more questions for me, man. You got any questions for me? I can talk dogs forever. Yeah, keep them coming. You know what I mean? How do I go to my page? This is crazy. This is assholes. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, if you don't have any other questions, we're gonna get out of here because it's hot as hell upstairs, man. Um, I'll try and do these weekly as best I can. Sometimes family life gets in the way, but I'll try and do these weekly, as much as I can because I know it helps out. Um, Feel free to share anything you want with my page. Um, Feel free to let people know if they've got any trouble with their dog. Send them my way. I can help them out. We are booked out right now until January 2022, but um, there's other ways I can help as well. All right. All right, guys. If you guys are done, let's get out of here. I'm out of here. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.